Hey guys, I wanted to make this video because somebody asked me a question the other day, well actually yesterday, and I figured if that person had that question, how many other people might have the same question, and it's regarding life insurance. Most people say they don't need life insurance, one, because they feel they're going to live forever, and we know no one lives forever, and two, they say, well, oh, I got $5,000 saved in the bank, my family could use that for when the time comes. But guess what? Life insurance is not for burial. That's the least of it. To me, life insurance, and I know a lot of people feel this way, is the most unselfish act you could do for your family. If you have anyone that depends on your income, it could be your wife, it could be your husband if you're the breadwinner, it could be your children, it could be your parents, it could be your aunt, your grandmother, anybody that depends on your income, you need life insurance, right? Most likely the best life insurance amount is your income times 10. So if you make $20,000 a year, your life insurance should be $200,000. If you make 30, 300,000, so on and so forth. You get me? So now, then the question is, well, my kids are young. What if something happens to me? Well, okay, get a power of attorney. You don't want. First of all, you cannot leave money to little kids. They could be the beneficiary, but you make a power of attorney and you go ahead and put somebody that you trust to oversee that money, or whatever, however you want to put it, so that the kids won't have it until they're 21, or for it to be for education. Anything could be in writing. You could do a living will or a dying will, whichever one. That's another topic. But life insurance is not for the burial. I have a very close friend that makes good money, and he told me he doesn't need life insurance because he's got money in the bank. So when it happens to him, they can just use that money. But again, it's not for the burial. Where I live in this state, to bury somebody is between $13,000 and $15,000. Okay, so let's say you do have the $15,000, so that if anything happens to you, the money is there, for your burial, for whatever, expenses. But how about the rest? Do you want your family to be homeless? Don't you want your kids to continue their education or the plans that they have for education? So now you leaving 10 times your income, which is the most unselfish thing to do, will make provision for that. And you know why we say 10 times your income, your yearly income? Because the statistics say that when a mate passes on, sometimes whoever stays behind, the wife and the kids, have to either sell the house because they don't have enough income to survive because they were depending on your income. Maybe they have to move in with the in-laws or some family member. And you don't want that for your family, do you? It could be the husband. It could be between you and your wife. You make enough money to pay all your bills on a monthly basis, right? And maybe have a little bit left for wiggle room. Maybe a little bit left for a dinner, for your weekly or your monthly date, a little bit left to buy your kids birthday gifts or whatever it is that you do. But think about it. Now you're gone. So whoever left behind, husband or wife, only has that one income to take care of what it takes with two incomes. You see how unselfish it is? We don't like to talk about doom and gloom and death, but it's inevitable. We all get to that point. So now the younger you are, the less expensive. It's different than car insurance. The car insurance in your 20s, you're paying an arm and a leg because you're a liability for that company. With life insurance, it's the opposite. The younger you are, if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, that's the time to get it, because you're going to be paying at the age that you are now, 20 years from now. And nobody say you got to have life insurance until you die. If you have life insurance now, or if you get life insurance now, for in case anything happens, whether you're still working on your savings or maybe you have a mutual funds or IRA and stuff like that, it's going to get to a point that you have enough money that you're going to leave for your family, so then you get rid of the life insurance. But I'm talking to you, like the friend that I was talking to yesterday, that does not have anything else besides the $5,000 in the bank. So if anything happens to him, yes, the burial expenses will be taken care of, but how about what he was helping in his home, the income that he was bringing? Because your boss is not going to give your family your income when you go away. Your boss is going to say, okay, next they're going to hire somebody else. And for those of you who have life insurance with your jobs, which many of you do, that maybe have a 30, 40, 50,000 life insurance with your job, it's very inexpensive. Maybe you just pay $3 a month. But just like your salary, when you leave that job, when you get fired, when you quit, when you change jobs, your salary nor your life insurance benefits go with you. That's why we always recommend for you to have life insurance outside of your job. The $50,000 is fine, or the 40, whatever it is. That's your yearly income. They're not going to give your family $500,000 if you make $50,000 a year. Then, unless you are the CEO or you are a very important person at that company. But I'm talking to you, like me, that is Main Street people, that we are regular people. We're not wealthy. Nobody taught us about these things. But I'm trying to educate you a little bit. There's so much I could tell you, but I don't want to bore you and keep you here forever. But if you want to know more details, you could contact me. You could contact Bella. If you want to know how you could set up your family so that when you're not here, they don't have to beg. They don't have to go on GoFundMe. GoFundMe, my friends, the originator of GoFundMe, or the idea of GoFundMe, was for people to fund your idea, not your burial. You look for it. GoFundMe was that if you had an idea, if you wanted to build something, if you wanted to create a music room, and you had an idea, you wanted to start a school, you wanted to help the homeless, that's what GoFundMe was for. But now if you go and GoFundMe, at least in this state of Florida, when you click GoFundMe and you click funeral, millions of results. Millions. Why? Because some people, like how I used to be, didn't plan for it. But thank God I was educated. Now I plan for it. It's sad to say, but it's going to happen. So let's plan for it. Something is better than nothing. I have a friend that used to say her husband was so smart to get life insurance for her and himself. They didn't have any kids yet, but when they have kids, they will include them. And she would say, a little oatmeal is better than no meal. You get it? A little bit of oatmeal is better than no meal, even if you don't like oatmeal. But guess what? A little bit of it is better than none when you don't have anything else. So yeah, that's fine and dandy that you have a little something with your job. But the most unselfish thing to do is to prepare for the future when you're not here. You don't want to put that stress on your mate. Trying to make things happen and trying to take care of business, trying to take care of responsibilities, bills, mortgage, education for the children, utilities, gas, food. That's a lot of stuff for one person to do. Especially you guys that have kids. I have kids, but they're grown. Each one of them has their own insurance. But as long as your kids under 25, you include them in your insurance. At least with us. So I want to leave you with that. I want to hear from you. It doesn't take anything to get a free quote. Keyword, free quote. Or we could do a financial needs analysis that will show you how much insurance you need. Because just because I'm telling you that the ideal thing is to get 10 times your salary, doesn't mean that that is what your family needs. So let's sit down. Well, nowadays, let's do it through Zoom. 15 minutes, maybe less. Let's communicate to Zoom. It could be FaceTime. It could be a chat group, or whatever it is that they do nowadays. But let me show you how important it is to have life insurance. You have to work it into your budget, my friends. You have to. I know I've sat with people that say, well, they can't afford it. But you cannot not afford having it. We used to say tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Guess what? Today is not promised to anyone. You walk out the door, anything could happen. It could be a car accident, which, I'm not wishing it on you. But nowadays, you could be in church, in the movies, at the mall, in school, and something happens, and you don't go home. So let's be unselfish, and let's get our affairs in place. And by the way, if you don't have a will, and you have a wife or a husband and children, shame on you. I can help you with that too. And I'm speaking to you that are in the US or Canada, or if you're not in the US and you have a US address, get to me. Remember this. And it's catchy. A little oatmeal is better than no meal. A little bit of oatmeal is better than no meal. So start where you're at right now. If you could only afford a policy of $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, that's fine. It's better than none. Because your job is not promised to you either. Especially where we're living here right now, things that are going on, millions of people without work. Okay, get in touch with me. Let me let you know about our benefits, especially our living benefits, if you're under 55. And also, let's get your will together. You never know, anything can happen. Your living will and your dying wishes. So like I always say, bye for now. And remember, you're a diamond.